about 12 months now. When he first came, he was a bit of a character. We had a lot of behavioural issues. My first introduction to Gerald was 40 minutes trying to get on with her. He doesn't have malice in him, he doesn't want to hurt you, he just didn't think that it was appropriate for me to get on. When I did get on, I thought, well, I'll make a bit forward and we'll take him for a trot around the school. At which point he kangaroo leapt down the long side of the school and absolutely stubbornly refused to go to one end of it. So for him to be here today, for him to get on the box, for him to come here and be perfect behaviour yesterday, for him to trot up past the Cheltenham grandstand is just fabulous in itself. Both myself and Katie are grade 4 para riders, so we both have slight disabilities. And Gerald is an ordinary horse. He didn't cost very much money. He's a bit of a wobbler cob. He's your ordinary type. And what we want to show is that any rider and any horse can be this dressage thing. Gerald was originally from Ireland. He was employed as a 4-year-old, probably already having hunted over some pretty scary scenery. And then went to quite a firm rider, who did quite a bit with it. And the minute I sat on this horse, I knew that the work he had before had been flashy, but ever so slightly incorrect. You'll see here, the horse has a tendency to come behind the vertical without being asked. To me, that shows he's been trained there, or that he goes there to avoid doing the work. And the nose in like this, I'll show you. Come here. You won't do it. The nose to the chest, the eyes looking at the horse's own feet like this. This isn't the correct way. This is the horse not working properly. When you see horses going around like this, with their noses in, they are either avoiding the work or the rider doesn't know what they're doing. So when Gerald is here, I'm asking him with my legs, giving the reins, asking the legs to take the nose out. But this is Gerald's preferred position when he doesn't want to work. What we demonstrated yesterday was we got a member of the audience out and we played the yes-no game. And then I showed how we use the aids on the horse, just the exercises I do with the young horse in the walking trot to get the neck soft and to get the horse off my leg. So just a little bit of recap. Whenever you use a rein or a leg aid with the horse, you're not saying yes, you're saying no. If I put rein pressure on, I'm not saying yes, I want you to do something. I'm saying no, I don't want you to do this. When the horse then responds, it's imperative that you release that in. And that's negative reinforcement. The positive reinforcement then comes once you release that in and you reward. And there's some scientific research that supports the theory that when you use negative reinforcement, as you do on the ground, with your Pirelli and with your Monty, and then you use positive reinforcement, like your clicker training, that's the quickest way for the horse to learn. Using any of these two in isolation, as we demonstrated yesterday, you can train this way. If you have a lot of time, a lot of patience, and you are very talented if your timing is excellent. Mine isn't, and I doubt most of yours is either. So using both yes and no is the way to model the horse's behaviour in the quickest way. If you use no all the time, you can train a horse, negative reinforcement on its own. But you'll have a horse that's a bit negative, that doesn't really want to work with you. Use positive reinforcement on its own, you'll have a horse that's also a bit confused, but he's quite happy. Use them both together, you'll have a horse that learns quickly but that wants to work with you. And you'll see with Gerald, sometimes he gets a little bit worried, at which point we've got to reward him or we get next. He does because he wants to do things right. And the reason he wants to do things right is he wants to reward. And sometimes this whole reward can be something I haven't asked for. Because he knows when he does that, he gets a pat. And that is the most amazing feeling when the horse gives you something that you haven't asked for. So, once we've done this yesterday, excuse me, the next thing I showed was the order of how to get your horse on the bridle. Pick up the outside rein. It keeps the outside of the bit still in the horse's mouth. As for the inside leg, the horse to bend to make straight. Now I'll put my egg on, he's bent, I'm bringing it off of it. I put my egg on, he bends, I take it off again and I walk. Now, with a lot of horses who aren't used to being ridden like this, you then just have to give a little give and take on the inside rein to soften the neck, a little flexion and release, just to soften the neck. But I find with Gerald now, I don't have to do a lot of that because the minute I put my outside rein, he knows I mean this. And you walk. Pick up the outside rein, slow the walk a little, connect with the inside leg, release and walk. Release and walk. Come on. Good boy. Everyone's down here this time, they're all down this time. So this is terribly scary for this pony, he doesn't like change. And then what I showed, and this horse has been quite hot today, so I probably don't need to demonstrate it too much, is how to get the horse off the leg. If I put my leg on this horse, he goes. But some of you might find you get a horse and you put your leg on and he doesn't go straight away. And this is when you use the stick. So imagine I put my legs on Gerald and he hasn't gone. Good boy. Good boy. So the next time I put my legs on him, he goes. And that is how you sensitize a horse to the leg. You put your leg on, the horse doesn't go, that is when you use your stick. And that is a little bit of what's called positive punishment. Positive punishment is another way of saying no. You don't use it very often. When you do use it, it's got to be proportional to what you're asking. As in, if you're just asking the horse to move forward, don't whack him like he's just trying to step you. And it's also got to be very quick. If I ask the horse to move forward and then 6 strikes later hit him, then I'll have absolutely no idea what I want. But if I ask him to move forward and he doesn't go, I say, excuse me, I'm letting him out. He goes. And then you reward. Good boy. Good boy. So he's not hungry. He doesn't see the stick as a beating him. So we've gone on a little bit what we did yesterday, and what I want to show today is then how once you've got a horse that's stopped and moving forward, sorry, I'm just going to stick my chest on that, then how you progress that into doing some more interesting things. So we showed yesterday how to get the horse on the road, how to stretch the neck and get the softness. So what I'm going to do today, having already rolled the horse up a little bit, is working a slightly shorter. And it's quite difficult when you train your horse to walk up the counter, to be soft and long. You think, right, now what next? And it's actually to start bringing the neck up and to start getting the horse working into a shorter outline. And one of the things Gerald likes to do is not very hard horse. So you find when I shorten my reins and I ask him to step up, his favourite thing to do is overbend the top of the neck here and come behind the nose. So I've got to be very disciplined to keep the nose forward. Yes. And I just do that with the leg. A little give with the reins, a little ask with the leg. Yes. And you see how this horse is a choppy, bouncy trot anyway. But he becomes very bouncy when I ask him to work properly. And I like this. Bounce is good. If you find you're bouncing too much, take your stirrups away and get a better ride. Good boy. Good boy. And one thing I do find with a lot of riders is they don't use their voices enough. This horse loves to be praised. I'm sure all yours do as well. Good boy. your heart is that you get the running and then you get the counter transition. But I'm always of the opinion it's better to get the counter transition and reward it and gradually build from there. And the next step to build from there is not to counter for so long, to do more transitions. So pick the horse up into the trot. And because I'm keeping the trot down, we'll go to the existing trot now. So what I'm going to ask for now, the right counter transition, a few strides of counter and then back to the trot. Oh, good boy. Very good. Get the counter that one. Down the transition. Stop. The minute you stop, oh, I have another transition. And you see by just doing 2 transitions in a row there, the second transition had a lot less break in it. Good boy. Good boy. Big pass, that's what I wanted. So I'll ask for another transition now.